Alright, imagine this. You're a big, scary-looking guy, and everyone avoids you like you're a monster. But one day, the most beautiful girl in the whole school suddenly falls in love with you. I know, what kind of plot twist is that? Even doctors would be confused how this even makes sense. So what do? Do you actually believe she likes you? Or do you think it's some cruel joke? That's exactly the mess our story dives into today. The anime kicks off with a high schooler named Rintaro. He goes to Ronshide High, and well, let's just say, he doesn't exactly blend in. The dude's huge, tall, broad-shouldered, with wild yellow hair that makes him look like he just walked out of an action movie. The thing is, people don't look at him and go cool. They look at him and panic. One time, his friends were waiting for him like always, and two random punks came up trying to start trouble. They asked, "Hey, where's that blonde thug friend of yours?" And guess who pops up behind them? Rintaro. The moment they saw him, they screamed and bolted like they saw a ghost. His friends just laughed and said, "Bro, no one dares mess with us when you're around. Just having you on our side is like having our own personal security squad." So, they start walking to school together, and Rintaro tells them about something weird that happened the night before. He heard an argument outside his house and went to check it out. Turns out, a girl slapped a guy in the middle of the street and stormed off. The guy got real angry and looked like he might do something stupid until Rintaro stepped in. The guy took one look at him and ran like the wind. His friends cracked up, saying, "Of course he ran. Who wouldn't run from that face?" While they're walking, two girls from Keiko Girls Academy pass by, the super fancy school across the street. One of the girls drops her handkerchief, and Rintaro's friend tries to return it. But instead of a thank you, she acts all superior and goes, "Ew, just throw it away. We don't take stuff from guys like you, or from your trashy school." That's the vibe between these two schools. Keiko is where all the rich, classy girls go, and Ronshide? Well, it's full of problem kids, rowdy, rough, and not so bright. Basically, the two schools are rivals. Later that day, Rintaro gets a message from his mom. "You've got a shift at the sweet shop at 6. Don't be late or else." Classic mom. He rushes over after school, but the rain delays him a bit. They live right above the shop, but no one at school even knows he works there. When he shows up, his mom scolds him for being late, but then goes, there aren't many customers anyway. Just finish your shift and take it easy." Rintaro heads out to the counter, and surprisingly, the shop is totally empty except for one girl. Just one. He notices her looking kind of nervous, probably because of his intimidating look. So, he tries to be nice and brings her some water. Then he notices she ate a lot of cake. Like a mountain. But instead of chatting, she downs her drink and runs off without saying a word. Rintaro just stands there, disappointed, thinking, "Yep, she got scared of me too." Later, he asks his mom, "Who was that cute girl earlier?" She tells him, "Oh, that's Gory. She comes in all the time. Regular customer." He sighs and says, "Well, if she doesn't come back again, it's probably my fault." She looked terrified, but his mom reassures him, "No way. Gory's different. Not like those other scaredy cats. She'll be back. She loves our cake too much." Next day at school, Rintaro's still feeling down. No one really talks to him except his three goofy friends. They ask him to join them for lunch, but he turns them down and goes home early. That night, he's chilling in his room when his mom suddenly barges in and says, "Gory's downstairs. She wants to see you." Rintaro's confused. Why would she be here? When he gets down, he finds her nervously stammering. Turns out, she came to invite him for cake at their own shop. Yeah, she's inviting him to his own family's shop. Weird, definitely, but sweet. He tells her, "Hey, don't worry about yesterday. It was all a misunderstanding. I'm not mad. I was just upset that I scared you." But she shakes her head and says, "No, I wasn't scared. I was just shy. No one's ever looked at me the way you did." Rintaro's a bit flustered, but smiles. "No big deal. Here, take this cake on the house. Enjoy." And she does, happily. While eating, she introduces herself again, and he tells her his name. She goes, "Oh, finally, I know your name. I've seen you around before and tried to get your attention, but I guess you never noticed." Rintaro turns red and admits, "Honestly, I'm used to people running away from me, not chasing me." She laughs and says again she's not scared of him, just shy. They chat for a while, and then Rintaro offers to walk her to the station. It's late, and he doesn't want anyone bothering her. At first she says no, that she's fine, but just as he's about to let her go, two creeps show up and try to harass her. Meanwhile, Rintaro's back in his room, thinking about his past, how people used to bully him just because of how he looks. But then he remembers what Gory said, "You're not scary. You're sweet. You're cute, even." Suddenly, his mom bursts into the room. "Rintaro, something happened to Gory. I found her lunchbox tossed in the street." Rintaro panics and runs out. Turns out those two creeps grabbed her and were trying to pull her away. They told her she should hang with them instead of someone like Rintaro. That guy's scary and weird. No one likes him. But Gory? She snaps. "How dare you say that? Rintaro is kind and gentle. You believe those dumb rumors without even knowing him." Rintaro hears all this from a distance, and for the first time in his life, someone's standing up for him. She even tells them, "Go talk to him him yourself if you don't believe me. He's the nicest person ever. One of the creeps gets mad and tries to hit her, but Rintaro shows up just in time. He throws himself in front of her and blocks the punch like an absolute legend. Then he glares at them and growls. You guys are finished. They take one look at his face and run for their lives. Gori's stunned. She says, you look kind of cool like that. But, oh no, your head. You're bleeding. Rintaro brushes it off. It's not your fault. I had to protect you. You stood up for me. Now it's my turn. She's speechless. Wait, you heard everything I said? Yeah, I was coming to make sure you got home safe. Consider this payback for leaving you alone. She looks at him, smiling, and says, lift your head, Rintaro. This isn't your fault. They were the ones in the wrong. You're a good person. After everything that happened, Rintaro couldn't stop blaming himself. He just kept saying, it's my fault. I should have protected you. But Gori looked at him, totally confused, and said, I don't get it. Why are people so scared of you? You're actually really sweet. Then she gently wiped the blood off his face with a tissue, smiled, and thanked him for what he did. At that moment, Rintaro couldn't believe this was real. His whole life, people avoided him just because of how he looked. Even as a kid, he used to walk alone, always hearing people whispering behind his back. But now, someone was finally seeing him differently. After that, he walked Gori to the train station. Before she left, she said, take care of yourself, okay? I hope your injury isn't too serious. Rintaro smiled and replied, don't worry. I heal fast. Then he turned to leave, but she suddenly called out, hey, I'm gonna visit the sweet shop again soon. What do you say we eat cake together next time? He lit up like a firework. Yeah, I'd like that. And off he went, floating on air. Gori, meanwhile, was just as lost in her own thoughts. She couldn't stop replaying the moment he gently put his hand on her shoulder while walking her to the station. It was sweet, unexpected, and kind of perfect. The next morning at 7 a.m., Rintaro showed up to class way too early. Not a single student had arrived yet. Why? Because he hadn't slept all night. His head was spinning with thoughts of Gori, wondering if she'd really come to see him again at the sweet shop. He found himself daydreaming about her smile, her kind words, even her complimenting him. And while he was zoning out, he glanced across the window toward Keiko Academy. That's when he saw a girl open one of the windows. He squinted. Wait, is that Gori? No way. It is her. Rintaro panicked. He quickly shut the curtain, completely stunned. She's from Keiko. But how? She's younger than me. What's she doing in that school? He was frozen in place, his face blank with shock. It just didn't add up. And while he was still processing this bombshell, other students began trickling into class. Then Seiko stormed in, clearly annoyed. Man, I can't stand those stuck-up girls from Keiko. Every time we try to talk to one of them, they act like we're garbage. Like it's our fault we go to this trashy school. I didn't even want to come here in the first place. The other two friends came in and added fuel to the fire. Seriously, those girls are impossible. I can't stand even looking at them. Meanwhile, Rintaro just sat there silently, trying not to react, because, well, he might be falling for one of them. He didn't know what to say. Just as he was stuck in his thoughts, one of his friends asked, Dude, why'd you close the curtain? What's up with that? Still dazed, Rintaro mumbled, The sunlight, it was too bright. Seiko wasn't buying it. What? Sunlight hits that window every morning. What's new? Annoyed, Rintaro got up and opened the curtain again, trying to act normal. But Seiko wasn't done. He ran it again. I'm telling you, every single girl at Keiko is the worst. We're idiots for even trying to talk to them. That's when Rintaro snapped a little. Not all of them are bad, okay? You're just talking to the wrong ones. The room went quiet. Everyone was surprised by his sudden outburst. One of them asked, You okay, man? Something bothering you? Rintaro didn't respond. He just let it go and waited for the day to pass. After school, Seiko asked, Want to hit karaoke tonight? Rintaro agreed, and the group got excited. It had been a while since they hung out together, and they were looking forward to it. But as they were walking out of school, they bumped into a guy named Yado, standing in the middle of the road. He told them, Hey, there's a huge crowd gathering at the school gate. No one knows what's going on. Curious, they followed the noise. And guess what? Standing in front of the school gate was a gorgeous girl from Keiko Academy, waiting for someone. The second Rintaro saw her, his heart dropped. It was Gori. She was waiting for him. He froze, completely embarrassed and unsure what to do. But before he could say anything, Seiko jumped in, as usual, and blurted out, Ugh, what are those Keiko snobs doing here now? Rintaro was cringing inside. Please shut up, please shut up, please shut up. Gori calmly stepped forward and said, I'm waiting for someone. Why are you so angry? Seiko squinted at her and said, Waiting for who? Huh? Your boyfriend or something? Come on, spill it. He was clearly getting in her face. But before it could get worse, someone yanked Seiko back by his collar. It was Rintaro. Furious, he snapped, Don't you dare scare her. You got that. Seiko, completely caught off guard, stammered, Wait, you know someone from Keiko? Right then, Gori's friends ran over to her. Who was bothering you? Tell us right now. We got your back. They glared at the guys and dragged Gory away, saying, don't worry, we don't deal with losers like them anyway. Saku, still stunned, yelled, you bumped into me and didn't even apologize. And now you're blaming me? Without thinking, one of the girls, Hashina, slapped his hand away. Hard, like warning shot hard. She stared him down like, don't even think about touching me again. Everyone around them froze. Then the girls took Gory and walked off toward their school. Back with the boys, the energy was awkward. Saku was still fuming. Those girls are so full of themselves. Why do they act like they're better than us? One of the other guys looked at him and said, come on, man. Be real. You started that whole mess. So at that moment, the girl was standing there waiting for someone, and someone randomly butts in like, what's it to you? Meanwhile, our guy Taro, he's off in his own world, totally spaced out, thinking, was she really there for me? Or was she waiting for someone else? And if she was there for me, what was she going to say? He's lost in his head until his friends Yato and Saku snap him out of it. They're like, yo, Taro, what's up with your face? You look weird today. Taro tries to brush it off like, nah, nothing. Let's just go have fun and sing a bit. So they head off toward the karaoke spot. But as they're walking, Taro glances at his reflection and starts wondering, wait, do I like this girl? Nah, don't be ridiculous. She's way out of my league. No way someone like her would ever go for someone like me. They get to karaoke and everyone's having a blast. Seiko's already hyped with the mic, joking around. But Taro, he's just sitting there, lost in thought. Yato notices and goes, bro, are you okay? Snap out of it, man. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself. Then he's like, by the way, you still haven't told us what happened to your head. Where'd that cut come from? Taro, of course, is thinking about Gory again, how she stood in front of the school waiting for him. He doesn't know what to say, but Yato finally gives up and goes, all right, you don't want to talk? Cool, we won't pressure you. Just know that when you do want to talk, we're here, okay? To shake off the awkwardness, Taro grabs the mic and sings along with him. Later that night, when he gets back home, guess who's waiting for him? Yep, Gory's already there at the sweet shop. She immediately apologizes for what happened in front of the school earlier, for forgetting how tense things are between their two schools. But Taro reassures her, saying he wasn't upset, just worried about her. And then his mom pops in like any classic anime mom and is like, next time you're out late with friends, call me. I was worried. Then she turns to Gory and tells her to sit down and enjoy some of her favorite cake. And of course she does. The two start laughing, joking, just enjoying the moment. After a while, Taro asks her, hey, why were you at my school today? And she straight up says it. She came to see him. And Taro's whole face just lights up. He's shocked but thrilled. He's like, seriously? That means a lot to me. But then he admits he never thought a girl from her school would care about a guy from his school. Gory smiles and tells him, I'm really happy you go to the school next to mine. I want to know everything about you. That moment hits Taro hard. She's nothing like the girls from her school. She's kind, humble, the complete opposite of what he expected. Gory gets a little flustered though, thanks him for the cake, and rushes off. Taro's left stunned like, wait, why'd she leave so suddenly? I thought everything was going well. Later, when his mom sees how spaced out he looks, she asks what's going on. He tells her what happened, and she gives him the real talk. Stop judging people based on where they're from. You hated when people did that to you as a kid, thinking you were scary just because of how you looked. Don't do the same to her. And just like that, boom, the message lands. Taro actually slaps himself out of guilt. What have I done? I'm such a coward. But he thanks his mom for snapping him out of it and decides he needs to make things right. The next morning, bright and early, he's waiting outside her school. And when Gory sees him, he apologizes, tells her he didn't mean to misjudge her or push her away. And Gory, with tears in her eyes, tells him, I didn't want to lose you. I really like being your friend. And finally, Taro mans up and tells her that he liked her too, but he's scared. He knows he'll get picked on by his classmates, and she might get mocked too for being into a guy like him. But Gory? She just looks him in the eyes and says, I don't care what they think. I want us to be together. Our schools won't stop me from being with the person I like. Later, back in class, Taro opens the curtain, and there she's across the way, smiling at him from her school window. And he's smiling too, because now he knows that feeling he thought was out of reach, it's finally real, and he's ready to go all in. And that's where today's anime recap ends. So what do you think? Are these two really going to make it work? Will they stay together and grow their relationship? Maybe even take it to the next level? I guess we'll find out together in the next episodes. See you then.